Thank you. Now, the Swapo party has concluded the voter verification and certification process. What do you make of this latest list?
I think, in my view, the latest list is balanced in terms of skills, competencies, and leadership and personal attributes that are required. However, we still have the inadequately explained situation of the first list. This is a concern in view that especially the female Central Committee results have significantly changed. Therefore, someone expects that there will be adequate explanation of this situation so that you don't have space for speculation of exactly what happened. But generally, the list of today is balanced.
Now, Dr. Kudumo, there are several members who plan to take the party to court that after the exclusion. Do you think that this will still proceed? And if they do, what is likely to happen?
Yeah, I think the question is whether they want to take the party to court on a matter of principle or because of the fear of being excluded. Now, if they are included, it will be interesting to see whether they are proceeding or not. But as we are aware, Article 18 of the Namibian Constitution that deals with administrative justice provides for any person who is aggrieved by the exercise or the expectation that administrative bodies have to act fairly and reasonably. Everyone who is aggrieved have the right to seek redress before a competent court or tribunal. So it's a right of individuals, but it will be interesting to see whether it is a matter of principle or a matter of fear of exclusion. I think it's also important to highlight that litigation is costly, and ideally organizations should have internal dispute resolution mechanisms so that courts are the last resort if the internal dispute resolution mechanisms have failed.
Now, there are those who think the newly elected top four have no right or powers to order for a verification of ballots, as the Congress of the Central Committee are the only one structured to make such an order. What's your take on that?
For me, it's a matter of constitutional and procedural matters, because the question is whether the constitution and procedures of the party have already provisions on how to deal with the situation at hand, and including interpretation of the constitution if there are matters like this. So the question is, what should have happened if there's no one who's taken action in case the constitution and the procedures does not make provision of what has arisen? Because I think, in my view, what is important is about learning organizations. That organizations are always learning on the basis of changing context as well as on the basis of their experiences. So it is a valid question, but the question is, does the constitution and the procedure makes provision of how to deal with the situation that have arisen? And if there's no one who's taking action, what happened in the absence of constitutional clarity and procedural clarity? So it will be interesting to see what are the suggestions that those people are proposing, how to get out of the dilemma. So for me, it's just getting into the Constitution. Is the Constitution tight enough, or are there areas based on this experience that need to be tightened up, both in terms of handling of elections as well as the provision of the Constitution and procedures?
Now, Dr. Kudumo, before I let you go, the President has now announced his 6 nominees on the Central Committee. What do you make of his 6 nominees?
Yeah, I have not really applied my mind to it, but I assume the President has taken various factors in consideration, like skills and competency, also inclusion in terms of the national population. Are there groups that are excluded that need to be included? So I hope those factors have been taken into account because they are going to become very important moving forward. But generally speaking, it seems to take skills into account, as well as the whole issue of intergenerational leadership mix of young people coming into the political dynamics. But I have not properly applied my mind to look at the whole list and see whether the issue, especially of inclusion, have been properly addressed.
All right. Dr. Kudumo, thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.